Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be back with you this morning. I took a break for the last month, but I am so glad to be back. This retirement is not being kind to me. I've been having, a lot of sinus problems and allergies and throat problems and respiratory problems. And I'm not well. I'm still taking medication, but I am feeling much better. And I am so glad to be back with you this morning. So, with that said, I want to look at Mark chapter 6. Jesus had been teaching and he'd been healing. And the Bible said in verse 1 of Mark chapter 6 that he went away from there, the place that he was teaching, and he came to his hometown, and his disciples followed him. And on the Sabbath they began to teach in the synagogue, and many who heard him were astonished, saying, "Where did this man get these things? What is the wisdom given to him? How are such mighty works done by his hands?" Now, the reason why they were saying all that was because Jesus was from their hometown. He grew up there. They probably knew all of his families, his brothers. He knew his mom and dad and his sisters, it says. But in verse 3, the latter part of that verse, it said, and they took offense at him. Down in verse 5 and 6, we see where it said, and he could do no mighty works there, except that he did lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. And he marveled at their unbelief. He couldn't believe that they didn't believe, but they didn't. Now, when we drop on down a little bit, in verses 6 and 7, we see where Jesus sent out the 12 apostles to proclaim repentance, cast out demons, anoint many with oil, and heal the sick. And then the apostles returned. And I want to look at verse 30. The apostles returned to Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest for a while. For many are coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat." And they went away in the boat to a desolate place by themselves. Why did they do that? Well, the Bible said they had no time for leisure. It said they didn't even have time to eat. They were tired, you guys. Even the disciples got tired. Even Jesus got tired. Oh, I'm sure they were still very excited about everything that had been going on. Oh, yeah, they were, and I'm sure they were on a spiritual high, and how the spread of the gospel was going. Everything was going really good, but you know what? They needed time to reflect and to renew. And then there was Jesus. Jesus had been rejected by his own hometown. John the Baptist had been beheaded. And Jesus had been going and teaching and healing and healing. I cannot imagine. For us, you guys, I think about this. The pressures of everyday life for us can become heavy. Yeah, it can become heavy. And then, you add to it things like discord and discouragement and stress from other external conditions. Did you know that we can even become physically ill? We can get ulcers. Stress can raise our blood pressure. It can raise our cholesterol levels. It can interrupt our sleep patterns. It can cause depression. You know, the disciples needed time to renew their spirit. And sometimes we need to take a step back, not only to renew our spirit, but to sharpen our axe, so to speak. Sometimes we just need to get alone. We need to get away from the rat race, if you will, to a place of solitude so that we can regroup our thoughts, so we can meditate on God, so we can maybe renew our relationship with God. Get a second wind, reprioritize, reflect, to be still and listen to God. I like a story that Dr. Jim Dennison tells. There was a newly hired lumberjack that cut down more trees on his first day than anyone else in the camp. The next day, he fell behind the others. And by the third day, his production was so low that the foreman asked for an explanation. "I don't understand," he said. "I'm working as hard as ever." And with a flash of insight, the foreman asked, "When last did you sharpen your axe?" "Sharpen my axe," the lumberjack said. "I don't have time to sharpen my axe." Did y'all get that? When we don't have time to sharpen our axe, then there are other things that can happen. Like I said before, we can become physically ill. We cannot be as productive as we were. In some aspects, I took that time off to sharpen my axe. God bless y'all. I hope you'll share Wednesday morning coffee break with others. It's going to take us a little time to get our people watching again because we've been off. But we're back now, and I hope we're back to stay. God bless you. I'm so happy to be back with you. You take care. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of the week. God bless you. I'll see you next week on Wednesday morning coffee break. Bye now.